Monetary Fund. Now, the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System to launch BVN platform for Nigerians in diaspora by December, says the Central Bank Governor Cardoso. And looking at energy, oil prices edge higher, on track for a 3% weekly gain, while Asia markets mix after Wall Street extends declines. South Korea avoids technical recession. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. Well, it's our time to talk business as we bring you up to speed with happenings in the world of business, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. As you well know, the 30th edition, well, I say it's been 30 years since the IMF and the World Bank have been meeting, talking about the annual meetings. We're going to be bringing you updates from that end. But to start with, in a major review of his administration structures, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has relieved 5 ministers of their appointment, with 7 new ones nominated. State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab has this and other decisions taken at the Federal Executive Council meeting, which includes a realignment of some federal ministries.
President Bola Tinubu returned to chair the Federal Executive Council meeting after his vacation abroad. With memos accumulated, it was expected to be a long session. But then, it ended to be one of the briefest FEC meetings so far. However, the outcomes of the meeting are not as short as the duration, with 2 separate briefing sessions afterwards. First, the ministerial briefing chaired by the Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris revealed the review of the ministries. While the hitherto Ministry of Sport Development has been scrapped for its responsibility to be taken by the National Sports Commission, the Ministry of Tourism is now subsumed under the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. The Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs now has a wider scope to cover other regional commissions and renamed Ministry of Regional Development.
Today, Mr. President and the FEC decided that all these commissions that have been created and signed by the National Assembly will be brought under the supervision of the SY Ministry of Niger Delta, which is now redesignated as the Ministry of Regional Development. For our people over there in the Niger Delta region, I would like them to know that that has not removed anything from them. The NDDC is still very much in place, which is still under the Ministry of Regional Development, and all other such agencies are there. It's just a question of change of nomenclature.
So it's an expansion. What the Federal Executive Council has seen is the need to bring this development closer to these to the people, closer to their regions. And so there's now an integration of the function of all these commissions under the supervision of the new Ministry of Regional Development.
Other decisions directly from the presidency were announced by the presidential media team. These include the discharge of 5 ministers, reassignments of 10, and nomination of 7 new ones for onward transmission to the National Assembly. The discharged ministers are Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, Lola Adejon, former Minister of Tourism, Professor Tahir Mama, former Minister of Education, Abdullahi Mohammed Gwazo, former Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, and Jamila Bio Ibrahim, former Minister of Youth Development.
The President met them this afternoon to thank them for their services for the nation.
The new nominees are Nentawe Yitwatsda, nominated for Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Mohammed Megeri Dingyadi, Labour and Employment, Bianca Odumegu Ojuku, Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Jumoke Oduwole, Industry, Trade and Investment. Idi Mukhtar Meha is nominated to pioneer the newly established Ministry of Livestock Development. Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, Minister of State, Housing and Urban Development, and Suwaiba Saeed Ahmed, Minister of State, Education.
Honorable Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, Minister of State Education as of now, is now the Minister of State, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Dr. Morufu Olatunji Alausa, who is currently Minister of State for Health, is now the Minister of Education. Barrister Bello Mohammed Goronyo, who is Minister of State, Water, Resources and Sanitation, is now going to be Minister of State Works.
With these latest decisions, President Bola Tinubu has apparently justified his recent 2-week work and leave away, and now Nigerians will be expecting to see the positive impact of these decisions on his administration's performances in days to come.
Now the Central Bank of Nigeria says a bank verification and number platform will be launched by December for Nigerians in diaspora. Kaduso said this during a parley with members of the Nigerian community at the sidelines of the World Bank and IMF meetings in Washington, D.C., United States. He said the BVN platform will be launched by the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, a subsidiary of the CBN. The BVN is an 11-digit number that is unique to each individual, but the same across all bank institutions for the same individual. Now, still on the meetings, the International Monetary Fund has observed signs of growing stability in Nigeria's currency, the Naira, citing recent interest rate hikes and efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to clear foreign exchange backlogs. This development was highlighted during a press briefing held in Washington, D.C., where the IMF raised Nigeria's steps towards stabilizing the economy. According to IMF, in Nigeria, rate hikes and the clearing of overdue domestic central bank foreign exchange obligations have helped the Naira show more signs of stability. IMF Financial Counselor and Director of Monetary and Capital Markets, Tobias Adrian, also acknowledged the CBN's efforts in combating inflation and improving forex markets performance. Now, how much is the Naira exchanging for other currencies? Now, the Nigerian Union of Pensioners Contributory Scheme says retirees under the scheme are being excluded from payments of pension increments, among other benefits. The pensioners took their plight to the office of the Accountant General of the Federation, seeking redress.
And if we continue to keep quiet, will be losing more.
Their demand is simple: pay our pension increment, honor our service, as we want to live out our golden years with dignity. We want to know that our service meant something. With these words, they believe the world has heard their plight, and it was time the Treasury House makes commitment as to when payments will start trickling in.
Please, next time, please, seek to have audience with us. We will surely make ourselves available and we can dialogue. We feel your plight, and everybody on this table will one day become a retiree.
In the absence of the host, they dropped a letter containing their demands and promised to come back if their demands were not met.
Our next line of action is to turn the whole of these premises to our residents until Accountant General releases funds for the payment of our entitlements.
The pensioners insist that, aside from rights to periodic increment, their members who retired more than 20 months ago are yet to receive their entitlement. Now, the Nigerian equities market sustained its bullish sentiment on Wednesday as investors gained 31 billion naira at the close of yesterday's trading. This followed a surge in the share price of stocks like Wando, Unilever, and Unicel, amongst others, on the trading floor. The equity capitalization increased to 59.95 trillion naira from 59.92 trillion recorded by the previous day. The benchmark all-share index increased to 98,999.42 basis points from 98,892.58 basis points recorded the previous day. Now, the market breadth was positive as 30 stocks advanced and 16 stocks declined, while 72 stocks remained unchanged in 7,966 deals. Now, from home, let's go abroad, where Asia markets mix after Wall Street extends a decline. South Korea avoids technical recession. It's over to you, Maria.
Thank you, Demeni. Global markets are given a bullish fall this Thursday morning. European stocks opened slightly higher as traders reviewed another batch of earnings report and as U.S. market declines weighed on global sentiment. Looking at the figures, we have DAX, which was higher by 0.25%, FTSE up by 0.38%, CAC jumped 0.37%. Asia markets mostly fell after U.S. stocks dropped overnight, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average posting its worst day in more than a month. The figures show Nikkei going up by 0.10%. We have Shanghai Composite down by 0.68%, and Hang Index followed suit at 1.28%. Futures linked to the S&P 500 in U.S. trades rise after the index notched a three-day run of losses. Dow futures tied to Dow Jones Average were lower by 0.04%. We have S&P 500 jumping 0.30%. Nasdaq Composite reflects this at 0.59%. Africa markets opened mixed, with South Africa JSE Top 40, which traded positive at 0.22%. We have Namibia All-Share Index, which traded in the red at 0.02%. That's a summary of the global market. I'm Maria Aduzakari. It's now new thing.